All right, let's take a break from the basic political stuff here on TikTok and just speak about TikTok and communication in general. Many of us got onto this platform by accident, like I did by accident, and it grew to something that I'm very, very proud of, and I'm honored by the attention and the respect and the community that Revolution Washington platform has built. It is growing into the YouTube space. It's growing into the podcast space, launching sometime this week or next week. And we also have a bunch of other things going on behind the scenes. We have a situation where the opportunity came up to help in different areas besides political discussion. The political discussion is based on meeting in the middle, talking from both sides of the aisle. I do not like this Biden only, MAGA only type of thing. That's not a discussion. That's beginning right out of the gate one-sided. TikTok has been cracking down and joining forces of people who want to silence the other side. That is not freedom of speech. That is not a discussion. That is not being American. That is not putting America first. America first is supposed to be about the differences of opinion. That is why our structure in our country is built the way it is. That is why we have both different parties that are supposed to represent different types of opinions. And that balance of power is supposed to represent each and every section of this country equally. The problem is there is a lot of corruption on both sides. Lately, there's been a hell of a lot more leaning on one side, but that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, we are supposed to be able to balance each other out. We are supposed to, as Americans, as intelligent human beings, are supposed to be able to have a conversation with someone we don't agree with without getting pissed off, without threatening violence, without trying to sink somebody's account because you disagree with them. If someone's wrong on a video, point it out. I make mistakes. I'm human. I'll admit I'm human. I'll admit I make mistakes. I think that's one of the biggest problems, is people get an idea in their head, and that's the only thing that matters is their idea. It's pretending that they're not human, they can't make mistakes. Everyone agrees politicians are full of shit. Guess what? That means yours are too. We're supposed to be smart enough to call out things that don't seem logical. We're supposed to be smart enough to go, I agree with this person 75% of the time, but we disagree on this section, so let's just focus on that 75%. Because that's what America's supposed to be. We are getting so unpatriotic and un-American and so caught up in the anger that is in especially this political atmosphere. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care if you're diehard MAGA, diehard communist, diehard anything. I want to know why you feel the way you feel, and I want to have a conversation. That's why I enjoy this platform. But because I have sometimes proven some people wrong, and people have proven me wrong, and I welcome it because it actually expands my perspective and makes me more accurate as a human being. And it actually clarifies something that maybe I misunderstood somewhere along the line. But I'm open to that. I don't need to be attacked for someone to show me I did something wrong. I just need to be told about it and give me something to convince me. And I'm good. I'm there. I'm with you. I'll agree with you. And I will follow you, even if your name is Super MAGA, Ultra MAGA, Love Trump. It doesn't freaking matter to me. I'm independent. I voted Republicans many times in my life. I voted Republican down ticket almost every election. Not going to happen this election for obvious reasons, but that's the way it is. That's the way it should be. And the fact that we have gotten so divisive in this country, and we have sunk our teeth so rapidly, deeply into anger-filled politics, without even realizing that anger is making us overlook things that we are against, that we don't agree with. And if that person who's running is doing things that we don't agree with, we shouldn't be voting for them. And if you're not bothering to look into some of the allegations or whatever against the person you're voting for, you're defending, you're not being patriotic. You're not being a good American. You're not being a good human being. You're being a sheep. You're being closed-minded. You're not being honest with yourself. And worse than that, you are part of the violence and the anger that's in this world today. And you are perpetuating that by choice because you refuse to just, for the hell of it, just to see if you're wrong. Because I got news for you. You could be wrong. You're human, aren't you? And if you're pretending you can't be wrong, especially about a political discussion, you're not as smart as you think you are. You're definitely not as American as you pretend to be. And you're definitely not looking out for the best interests of this country, because this country includes the people you disagree with. I'm sorry, there are some things in my eyes that are a no-go. I have personal first-hand information. First-hand, not media, not twist. First-hand, my own eyes, my own conversations with not only Donald J. Trump himself, dozens of times, but also members of the family. And first-hand information of things they have actually done and lives they have actually destroyed. My opinion of him has zero to do with politics. Zero. It has to do with proven history. Back in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 90s. The 80s and the 90s where my personal experience came in. But the fact of the matter is, many people don't know that experience. They think it's all bullshit. They think it's all politically driven lies. Simple question for those people who feel that way. How do you know if you don't bother to look into it? How do you know? And when you do bother to look into it and you see things that actually work against your perspective, why do you automatically think it's BS? Why do you automatically think it's lies? You're basically taking your assumptions and putting them over actual fact. When there's evidence of a crime and cooperated evidence and things that that person himself or herself admits to, but you choose not to listen because it doesn't fit your narrative, that's a personal choice. But you're choosing not to educate yourself on the facts. It doesn't make the facts into fiction. It means you're ignoring the facts. And that makes you less of a patriot if you truly pretend to care about this country. So please, politically driven, angry people in the United States of America, the already great United States of America, cut it the fuck out. There's too much at stake right now, whether you want to believe it or not. It is not business as usual, and all this anger that's swirling around, go back in history and look at every other presidential run, every other campaign. Has there ever been this much violence and turmoil? No, because it's being stirred up on purpose. Recognize that. I don't care who you blame for it. Just recognize that, and recognize that's a problem. Now, do you want to be part of that problem or not part of that problem? Do you want to be part of the solution? Because that's what we need in this country, is solutions. Why? Because we got a lot of other problems we need to solve. And most of these problems we all agree on. Healthcare, wages, inflation, the cost at the pump, the cost at the grocery store, that we could go bankrupt even if we start out with $10 million in the bank because we get sick. We want to fix that, right? Yeah, we all do. Let's start there. And even if we have different ways of getting to the solution, recognize we agree on most things. I want my children to be safe. I want your children to be safe. Whether you wear a red hat, no hat, or cowboy hat, I don't care. I want your children safe. I'm not teaching my children anger and hatred, no matter who they're talking to, no matter what color that person is, whether or not they're gay, straight, whatever, doesn't matter. American kindness is where we should all be, and we all need to start respecting each other just a little more. We need to stay diligent, we need to stay educated, but more importantly, we need to be kind, because we are all in this together.